Jets fan? Here we are, yet again, live on a walk. It's been a week. We're coming off a bye week, so I did not do a walking live stream. But now, since the Jets had a game on Sunday, I have to do it yet again. We started a new tradition here on Jets Media of these walk live streams that I definitely want to continue even into the winter because, yeah, it's cold out now, right? Before we were doing these, it was nice and sunny and 60s. Now it's, 30 degrees out or something like that near me on Long Island. I'm on a nice walk. I found a new spot near my apartment that I really love. So I definitely wanted to come out here and share my thoughts of the Jets falling to 3-9 on the season and just like where our heads are at. There's a lot of, news about the Jets and a lot of speculation about the future. And, we're coming off a game against the Seahawks where we were winning by a large margin after, 1.5 quarters, 21-7. I mean, I don't really need to break down that game anymore. We all know what happened. We broke it down already on the channel yesterday and stuff. I'm not going to bore you with that. But the reality is there's 5 games left on the season, but the only thing that Jets fans really care about right now is what's the future looking like? Who are we bringing in at GM? Who is our new head coach? Is Aaron Rodgers coming back next season or not? Looking at the young guys like Olu, who's definitely really showing us signs of a franchise left tackle, finally getting his opportunity at left tackle with Tyron Smith going down. That is such a big plus. I cannot stress how big of a deal that is if Olu is a hit. Now, I know it's bleak. I know it's negative world for Jets land where there does not feel like there's any hope for the future. But let's celebrate even the most smallest wins with this team right now. That's what I'm going to do because we've been looking for a franchise left tackle just as long as we've been looking for a franchise quarterback. And I'm not saying Olu is guaranteed to be a franchise left tackle, but Jets fans should be optimistic about that as a real possibility because of what we were seeing this season. The guy had to plug in a right guard, right tackle. He's never played right guard in his life. Right tackle is not his position. Now he's at left tackle coming off 42 pass protecting snaps, 0 pressures allowed. I think that is huge if we get that because if Olu is our rock at left tackle, that's going to be able to allow the new regime that comes in a lot more flexibility to fix this offensive line that we've been waiting for a long, long time. So that's a plus, of course. And when it comes to the young guys on the roster that we can definitely look after, it's, of course, Will McDonald. Because Jermaine Johnson tore his Achilles, by the way. I feel like people forgot about that. Jermaine Johnson's out for the season. He's coming back next season, right? And we've seen players come back from Achilles at that age and be able to still be impactful. Rodgers, of course, not the case at 40 years old. But Jermaine Johnson and Will McDonald next season is going to be a fun duo to watch. I think that Will McDonald getting 10 sacks in year number 2 shows you the actual talent that he has, the potential that he has. I really, really like it. And outside of that, Sauce Gardner having a good game yesterday is a good sign. Of course, he's had an underwhelming season, but we need to see that. We need to see flashes of the Sauce Gardner from his rookie season in year number 2. And we saw that flash against Seattle. That pass breakup against DK in the goal line was fantastic. Another pass breakup on DK, 2 pass breakups. So that's a good plus there. Unfortunately, Sauce did leave with a hamstring injury. But I'm just evaluating some of the young guys on the team right now as we finish off the season to see, who's going to stick around. Who are players in 2025 that Jets fans can expect to be impactful players, starters that's going to impact this team moving forward. And that is Olu. That is Will McDonald. Joe Tippmann even at center, his second season, right? There's a lot of, things about this team that we need to look forward to. The veterans, we can talk about that real quick. And shout out to the chat right now. Hit that like button if you guys are enjoying. Appreciate you guys in the chat. I see you all. How far are you outside of New York City taking a walk in the woods? Yeah, I don't live in New York City. I live on Long Island, New York, which is right outside of New York City. So if you're unfamiliar with the New York area, you got Manhattan and you got the 5 boroughs, which makes up New York City. And then there's Long Island, which is, east of the city. So I don't live in New York City. I live in New York State in Long Island, which is very close to Manhattan. It's a 45-minute drive from here, New York City. But listen, man, listen. I feel like the New York Jets need to just focus in on this youth. And, of course, the priority needs to be the GM search, the quarterback search, the head coach search. It starts with GM, then head coach, then it's going to be quarterback. And I think that the big discussion at the quarterback spot, if it's not Aaron, who is it? Excuse me. If it's not Aaron, who is it? Right? I feel like it's between a veteran free agency that we don't see that's out there, of course, a rookie, or Tyrod Taylor. I mean, those are the only options. I don't really see any other option besides that. You guys let me know, man. You guys let me know. Poop Barlow in the chat says, how the F do you enjoy any of your walks talking about these damn Jets? My boy hasn't enjoyed a walk in like 15 years. Yeah. Listen, this is new. I've never went live on walks before talking about the Jets, and I feel like I started that this year, and I want to keep that trend going. And it's funny how the origin of these walk streams was literally me going on a walk, and my mindset getting into the walk was I want to escape the Jets. I want to get out of my studio, stop thinking about this Jets team because they're driving me mad. And then while I'm on my walk, I can't get the Jets out of my mind. I'm like, you know what? Why don't I just go live while I'm on this walk and talk about the Jets, because there's so much on my mind. And now here we are. Here we are. I mean, the walk is really fantastic even before the stream started. After the stream ends, I'm probably going to do some breath work and meditation and stuff that I usually do every day. So it's going to be a good walk outside of it, but I'd like to pocket you guys into this walk. But back to the New York Jets, and guys, hit that like button if you enjoyed. I do appreciate you guys tuning in. If you want to see more shows of me on walks, I do feel like, hitting the like button lets me know that you guys enjoy these new type of content. We're in a nice little preserve, a nice little area. But now, what are we looking forward to for the rest of the season? Aaron Rodgers, right? It does not look good. We got someone in the chat saying Rodgers is washed. His stats, 19 touchdowns, 8 picks. Rodgers is washed from his standards, and I think that's the big thing people need to realize. Is Aaron Rodgers playing like a bad quarterback in this league where he's bottom 5? No, he's not. He's not bottom 5. He's right in the middle of the pack. 15 to 20 range is where Aaron Rodgers is. Is that where Aaron Rodgers was in his prime? No, he was the top dog. So for Aaron Rodgers' standards, yes, he's washed up, very washed up, and that's okay to admit. I was hopeful that he was not going to be washed up, and obviously it's not all on Aaron. I'm not putting this entire season, right, on Aaron Rodgers' shoulders, but he definitely deserves a lot of the blame because his addition was supposed to elevate this team to new heights, and that's just been a failure, of course. But the one thing I do want to say to Jets fans that should give you somewhat sense of hope is we're not trending towards a rebuild, in my opinion. We're trending towards a retool. And the difference between a rebuild and a retool, in my opinion, is a rebuild is what the New England Patriots are in year one of. Rookie quarterback, like roster depleted. I mean, there's nobody on no offense to Patriots fans watching, there's nobody on that roster outside of like Christian Gonzalez and a few guys that is exciting for the future in terms of talent. The Patriots, the good thing that they have is a lot of cap space this offseason to get the talent, and they got to hit on this year's draft class. That's a rebuild. The Jets, they have a roster with talent. Now, we need a quarterback, but my point is, if we can hit on the proper GM hire and get the right head coach, this Jets team could be competitive right away next season. Now, I'm definitely not saying Super Bowl contenders or anything like that, but coaching matters in this league, and I want to make sure people realize that coaching is such a pivotal piece of success in this league. If the Jets hit on their head coach, which, history proves that we're not going to, failed after, firing Rex Ryan, we get Todd Bowles, he looks good, and then he fails, fired, we bring in Adam Gase, failure, Robert Saleh, failure, right? We haven't seen the Jets hit on a head coach in a long, long time. So there's no guarantee that we will hit, but if we do hire the right guy for the job, if Mike Vrabel, hypothetically, is the guy, and he, is a win-now mindset, we need a coach like Mike Vrabel because this team is ready to win right now. We need a veteran head coach. We don't need a young guy to kind of build for the future. We need somebody that can establish a winning mindset right away and impact this team immediately, like Harbaugh did with the Chargers. Now, Harbaugh is an anomaly. He's a Super Bowl winning coach that went to college, won a national championship. He's like so accomplished where it's not shocking to see what he's done. But the Chargers always had talent on that team. They had a quarterback, but they did not have the right coaching staff to get them to where they wanted to go. And now in year number 1 with Harbaugh, look where the Chargers are, okay? Coaching matters. So if we can hit on the coach, this team can be competitive next season. Again, not saying that we're going to be competitive enough to win the AFC East with the dominance of the Buffalo Bills or, make the playoffs or anything, but I don't think that we're going to be as bad as people think next year. And so much is going to happen in the offseason before we can tell who are we hiring, who's our GM, who's our quarterback. But I feel like at the end of the day, that's what you got to look at it. Flick Shorts with the super chat. Thank you, man. Should I betray TD and clip all of his takes? Absolutely, Flicks. You have to. If you want to be playing clips on the AFC East Roundtable, you need to go against your own squad, the Miami Dolphins, especially after what TD Finstock was saying about the Dolphins. It's only right. It's not fair. It needs to be balanced. I give you all the freedom in the world to clip me as long as you promise that you put the same energy to TD, because that's unfair if you only clip me, Colby, and Dan, and not TD. And don't be shy to add Dan in it winning. Appreciate it, man. So that's where I feel like Jets fans need to realize that if we hit on this coach, we may be very competitive next year, because what's been the sentiment all season? The Jets have a roster full of players, not a team. Like, everyone's questioning, like, not just everyone of Jets fans, like NFL people are like, how are the Jets so bad? Like, they have Garrett Wilson, they have all these talent, Devontae Adams. Like, where's everything going wrong? It's coaching, it's culture, it's all that. So we need somebody to wake this team up, and hopefully that's going to be a no mess around coach. I think Mike Vrabel is exactly who we need. I'm sorry, but if there was a favorite that I have, I know people maybe want an offensive mind and everything. I mean, you can convince me on Brian Flores, but like Mike Vrabel is a guy that is accountability is what he's known for, and that's something that this Jets team has lacked for a long time. Saleh just did not really have that sense of accountability with this team. We need a disciplined football team that is fundamentally sound and, get back to the basics, and Mike Vrabel will bring that. And obviously we need a good offensive-minded coach under him to be the OC. Another guy is Joe Brady, if you want to go offensive-minded guy, but the thing I'm worried about Joe Brady is he's never been a head coach. Like, what if Joe Brady is another typical example of a glorified offensive coordinator? The examples of that is everywhere. I don't want somebody that is a glorified coordinator who's never been a head coach before come to the Jets and we waste 3 or 4 seasons of them just failing. Saleh, glorified defensive coordinator. Adam Gase never should have been a head coach in the first place. I don't want that. I really don't. So, but if we do hit a glorified coordinator who becomes the guy, then I'm down. Like, Ben Johnson is a guy, if you want to convince me on some person that is an offensive coordinator looking for a head coaching gig, Ben Johnson's the guy I'd go after. Definitely don't expect him to be the Jets head coach, because I don't think he'd want to work with the Johnsons and be here. But just saying, Pete Carroll is my dream, but who knows if that's so unlikely that he even wants anything to do with the Jets or wants anything to do with moving on from Seattle. Obviously he's retired and not really in football, hands off of Seattle now, but I'd love Pete Carroll in some type of capacity, whether it's a president of football ops, head coach, I don't care. Pete Carroll is a guy I love, Super Bowl winning mindset. Like, I need a veteran, I need an old school guy to come in here and discipline this football team. That's how I look at it as a Jets fan. So, I don't know. But guys, hit the like button if you're enjoying the show here. We're live on Jets Media, live on a walk, the usual show, and I don't want the cold weather to infiltrate these shows, right? I found the new spot near my apartment. It's like a nice walk in the neighborhood, and it's like a preserve in the middle of nowhere. Not in the middle of nowhere. It's a preserve in the middle of a neighborhood that I found, and it's nice. It's really, really nice. It's actually an historical site. I found out that something happened, but we don't need to go into that. I digress. I'm infatuated with all, it's a nice little spot I found. It's a nice little spot. I wanted to bring you guys with you. Can we get Darnold back? You guys know me. I got a soft spot for Sammy D. Not going to happen, though. Rex Ryan, of course, is a name that everybody brings up. I don't know, man. Every time I hear Rex Ryan's name, I just get so nervous, because that just reeks of typical New York Jets going backwards and failing. Now, if the Jets hire Rex Ryan and we're back, oh my God, that would be awesome. What a story. But I don't see it happening, man. I just don't. No, I don't see that happening. I don't, be honest. The GM is the thing we should be worried about first, because that's the first hire that will happen. The Jets will hire a GM, and then the GM will be part of the head coaching search. So that's interesting to see where we're headed from the general manager. I know people want to pair up the new the Lions assistant GM with Ben Johnson, or Aaron Glenn is a name as well that people are throwing out there. Detroit defensive coordinator. He's got ties to the Jets, but I don't know, man. I'm so worried about this coaching search just because I just want it to be a hit so bad. I want it to be a hit so bad, man. Let's make it happen. Oh, my God. And also some news about, I haven't talked about, Woody Johnson may not be leaving the Jets. We heard the report that he's not taking the UK ambassador role. Somebody else got that job, but that does not rule out Woody Johnson getting a job elsewhere in the administration. So, as of right now, Woody Johnson's not going anywhere, but there's still a chance that he becomes an ambassador elsewhere and he gets a job still and leaves the Jets. So I also don't know if it's a positive or negative that Woody's leaving us or not. I don't even know. He left us last time and we stunk, and he's here now and we stink. So I think Woody Johnson needs to hire somebody to be the head of the chairman of the Jets. He's the chairman. He needs to find somebody that he can hire that's below him that does all of the things. Somebody that's above the GM and above the head coach. If you visualize it, the levels of the Jets organization, you got Woody Johnson at the top, and then you got the GM and the head coach on the same level. That's how Woody Johnson structures his business of the New York Jets. And you guys got to think of the New York Jets as a business, because Woody Johnson is a businessman and he runs the New York Jets like a business, which is why we suck. You can't run a football team like just a business. You need to run it like a football program, okay? That's why the Jets have stunk. Woody Johnson prioritizes revenue and satisfaction of us fans, getting us hyped up to buy merch and go to get tickets just to sell a false product that does not succeed on the field. And I know Woody cares. He wants to win. Woody Johnson definitely cares, but he just does not make calculated football decisions. He's not a football mind. He's a business mind, right? So I think what needs to change is the structure of the entire business. The model of the Jets in terms of how Woody Johnson operates. And by the way, every franchise has a completely different outlook of how they operate. And I'm just, some people already know exactly what I'm talking about. Maybe some of you guys don't, which is why I'm breaking it down. But I always like to make the analogy of, think of McDonald's. McDonald's is a business that has multiple franchises all across the world, right? So you got McDonald's and you got one that's open, that's a franchise. That's your local McDonald's is a franchise, and maybe there's an owner of it, and that they operate that McDonald's, with the same system as the top, but it's different everywhere. My point is the New York Jets is a franchise of the NFL, right? The NFL is the top dog and there's 32 sub-franchises, and Woody Johnson owns the Jets, and he runs the Jets a way that is a recipe for failure, right? A way of business mind, not football mind. So the structure of the business of the Jets is Woody Johnson's at the top, and then you got the head coach under him and the GM on the same level. There needs to be somebody in between Woody and the GM and head coach that he hires. That's my point that I'm trying to make. We need that to happen. We need him to hire a head of football operations that acts like an owner of the team, doesn't do anything but just run football operations. That's what we need. Now, the big thing is Woody Johnson needs to put his ego aside and hire that type of guy, but he's, as of right now, likes to be hands-on. I mean, him hiring the 33rd team is a sign of that, I guess. He's allowing, this new age of help and data to extract the best candidates out, which you like to see, but I don't know. What we all want is the Jets to fire the team. Not fire the team. Yeah, fire the Jets to sell the team. And, do not read into any of the betting favorites to buy the Jets. Like Jeff Bezos is the betting favorite to buy the Jets. Elon Musk, second betting favorite. That's not happening because Woody Johnson needs to sell the team. And yes, Jeff Bezos wants to buy an NFL team. And I think if the Jets do go on sale, I think there is a chance Jeff Bezos buys him. And that would be insane. You're talking about a businessman, a successful businessman. How about the most successful person in the world right now, Jeff Bezos, owning the Jets? He would hire just all the right people. Obviously, Jeff Bezos is not a football mind, but he's a successful businessman that I trust. And listen, not happening. They're not buying the Jets. Woody Johnson needs to, sell the team in order for that to happen. And obviously, the main guy we all want to buy the Jets is Gary Vee. Gary Vee is the guy we all want. But the problem is Gary Vee doesn't have the funds for it, so he'd have to come in some type of minority ownership and maybe be some type of role. I'm just speaking some, stuff into existence. You never know. You never know. Now, talking about this week's game, we got a game. We got the Miami Dolphins. And by the way, guys, I'm going to be in Miami this weekend, if you did not know that. We got our AFC East Roundtable event in Miami. We had this planned all season long. Jets, Dolphins in Miami. It's going to be a wild experience to be there. We're going to be doing a live show Saturday night. It's going to be a great time. So definitely excited for it. But I'm going to be at the game, Jets, Dolphins. So if you guys are looking for my live watch party for the Jets, Dolphins game, not going to happen. I'm going to be at the game. Maybe I'll do some live streams from the game and stuff. But just to fill you guys in a little bit. Hit the like button for your boy right now. If you guys are enjoying the live walk stream right now, do me a favor, hit the like button. We got 25 likes, 75 of you guys are watching. We can do better than that. Hit the like button. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Hit that like button, chat. Appreciate you. Whew. Well, I think I said everything I needed to. I don't really know if there's anything else that's on my mind. I just like going on these walks and allowing the flow of thoughts of the Jets just come through me. Yeah, so I'm going to be live on the Huddle in an hour and 15 minutes. You guys know that. We got a daily show at 3 o'clock. TD and Dan and talking all things NFL. Yesterday's show was really fun. Definitely check out the replay if you did not see it. TD really gets into it with Dan about Josh Allen and everything. It's a lot of fun. Much love to all the people in the chat. Salute. My guy Josh, Richie's still going. Yes, sir, always. Never going to stop, man. The Jets will never make me stop making content. I don't care how bad they are. I built this channel off of the Jets being bad. And I'm not saying I enjoy that. I wish I built this off of the Jets being good. But I'm not going anywhere. You guys are, a family to me. Even though, we don't know each other in person. I've met some of you guys, but majority of you guys that watch I have not met. But I consider you guys an extension of my life, like literally. So that's why I like to fill you guys in on some things in my personal life and, be as transparent as possible. So we're going to wrap things up. I appreciate you all. Salute to the chat. I will see you on BetUS TV's The Huddle in an hour and 15 minutes at 3 p.m. EST. Peace out. Enjoy the rest of your day. And go outside, guys. Even though it's cold outside, put a nice beanie on and jacket and gloves and get some fresh air. And peace out.